How do you do that? Can someone teach me how to do this? How do you make this? What app? What app? What app? What app is this? What app is this? What do you edit with? What's the app you're editing on? I need to know. Name please, 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 please.
I think one of the hardest parts about making these edits into dialogue is having a story to tell and then finding a way to connect a bunch of song lyrics. That's why when I edited the 3rd episode, I started making lyric catalogs for different artists. I'm placing the Google Docs links in the description if you want to use them, but they're not perfect and I only have them for a few artists. So you can either write your story using dialogue you already have or write a rough storyline and find dialogue that can work together. For me, it's always been a combination, and it takes more than a week for me to get the whole script to look good. After you have your storyline and a good script, the next thing is to gather all the materials that you'll need for your edit. Record all the needed audio clips. That would be song snippets and sound effects. The song snippets are the lyrics from the songs, or basically the audio snippets for the dialogue.
Tell me what you came for.
And the sound effects are like footsteps or chewing noises to add spice to the edit. I always screen record everything since it's most convenient and there are a lot of free sound effects on YouTube. A tip for lyrics is to use isolated vocals just so that the instrumental isn't overbearingly loud. The downside is that these are only easy to find if the song is popular enough. Next, go on Google Images or any other place and basically search all the images that you'll need. That would be like backgrounds, PNGs of artists, PNGs of foods, or clothes if needed. If you can't find PNGs, you can also use images that already exist and erase the background or cut out the objects that you need. That will be more time consuming though. For apps, anything that can cut out a background is fine. I use Procreate because it's very easy for me to use and I already paid for the app, so might as well use it for what it's worth. But I think any other app like Superimpose or PixArt could work too. Another thing that you may need to do is create separate PNGs of the backdrop and certain areas of the backdrop so that things can go behind other things. So here's an example of how important layers are to the edits. Okay, so if we open this up, we have 7 different layers. The first one is the road, and then we have the car, and then we have BTS in the car. But look in the drive-thru window, that looks really suspicious. Like, that's not how someone would be in a car. So you need to add another layer, which is the car door. And then I have Felix, and then I have McDonald's, and I have the food because the food is originally inside McDonald's and then it will go to them. The layers are really important for things to look like they would be in real life. So here's another example to show how important layers really are. So if we build this up layer by layer, you can see how things stack up. The first layer is the backdrop. The next layer are the girls. But since we need the girls behind the counter, that's why there needs to be a layer with just the counter itself. That way the girls can stand behind the counter and move around. The next layer is the ice cream that you see in the video. And then the next layer is Twice, who stand in front of the counter. And then the last layer is the ice cream. That should be in front of Twice because they're holding the ice cream.
If you already know how to edit, I don't think this should be too hard. It just takes a lot of time. Well, at least for me. I'm going to bring up 2 different methods to edit, but the basics are going to be the same. These edits can be done on many different editing softwares depending on how you choose to edit. But I'm going to be teaching the basics through CapCut Pro because that's what I use to edit. Also, this will branch off into the first method, which is animating everything, even though you technically can do the same process in method 2A.
Also, since the edits are going to be different depending on what the storyline is or what happens, I'm giving tips that I think would be helpful, as well as going through some walkthroughs of me editing.
And also another thing that may be easier is to already go trim the screen recording of different audios in your camera roll. It's already more convenient just to trim them down in your camera roll to the desired length. I don't do that because I'm lazy, but it's pretty helpful to just quickly do that.
So first things first, you place out your setting. For CapCut, the items closest to the top are in the back, and the items on the bottom are in the front. Using this knowledge, you can place out everything for your setting. First, you start off with the basic background, and then your first layer of characters, like the characters who need to stand behind something. For here, it's Little Mix. Then you add the object that Little Mix stand behind, which is the counter, and then characters who stand in front of the counter. And so that is the basic structure of how to layer things. If you mess up, you can always long press on a line and switch it around with something else. Usually I like to have the lyric song snippets on the top, so that's why I moved the section with audio, video to the top. From here, there are two ways to edit these types of videos. Either you animate every object in person, or you screen record yourself moving the objects and people. I animate everything, but if you don't want to do that and instead screen record the objects and people being moved around, skip ahead. So once you have everything laid out, you can start placing the audio clips into the edit. When there is an audio clip playing and a character is talking, I find it helpful to make the character move so that it's obvious who is speaking.
What happened?
To make the character move, I pretty much just use a bunch of transitions on the object. I leave a little bit of the object at the end, and you'll see why that matters. Each transition ends alternatingly in the character moving up and the character moving down, except the last transition ends as close as I can get to the original position they were in. Since CueCut doesn't let you make transitions that small, I make the duration much longer than I need to, and then I trim it so that all the transitions become really, really small and short. Then the little blue transitions get tight and the object moves somewhat smoothly. And the last transition takes the object back to its original position and it merges with the clip at the end. That way it looks as smooth as possible. To make a transition, double tap on the picture and then press the little magic wand with arrows around it, and that takes you up to a menu. Then you press plus and you add a custom transition. And then at the end of each transition, you move the clip up or down. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Now I basically add as many transitions as I can to this stretched out clip, with the end of each transition alternating between Jesse moving up, then down, then up, then down, and so on. Yes, this is super time consuming, but it looks really good if you do it right. I think if you do this on like After Effects, you can just make keyframes for positions and then copy and paste them, but I don't know how to copy and paste transitions on CueCut, which is really sad. Also, I don't know if I should give a tutorial for how to use it on After Effects, because I feel like if you know how to use After Effects, then you don't need to be watching this video, because After Effects is super hard to use.
Anyway.
Then trim the clip at the length of the audio and delete that longer thing, and then you have a clip with small, tight blue transitions where the character moves as smoothly as possible. When characters move along a screen like walking, it's the same principle, except instead of just going up or down, the characters move slowly to the left or to the right. Then trim the clip at the length of the audio and delete that longer thing, and then you have a clip with small, tight blue transitions where the character moves as smoothly as possible. For objects that move, it's a bit more complicated depending on how you want it to move, but usually you can just do another custom transition and make it go from one place to another. So I have all my layers here. We have the background, we have Leanne, we have the potion, we have Piers. So what we're going to do first is going to have her move around. Now on Procreate, you just do this by tapping the little arrow button there, and look, you have this nice little border. You can just do that, or you can do it with your finger, move them around. But I don't know how that works on other apps, but it's probably the same principle. I don't use other apps though, so I can't help you out there. So you're going to start a screen recording of your project, of the area that you want to do your work, and I don't know how the best way to figure this out is, but like basically you just move them around for a little bit. But obviously it's a little bit hard to figure out how long you have to move them for, so maybe it's convenient to take another device and just play the little audio snippet. And then you have it for the time that you need. And then if you want to move
the potion disappears, you just select that layer, and you screen record yourself going like this. Oh shit, I just realized, never mind. So then basically the potion has to go in front of him, so you just hold on to the layer and move it to the top, because it has to go in front of him so that he can drink it, like that. Or you can just basically screen record yourself going like that, or do it with your finger. But if you want to make it really smooth, you want to look like it is in real life, you can group the items together. This is what I love about Procreate. You have the items together, and now you can just go like that, or with a finger, just give it to him personally. Really easy. And then if you don't want to group them later, you just tap one, and it stops the group that you just did. Okay, so then I basically screen recorded. They're both there now. He has a potion. So now I only select the potion, and I move it again, and he drinks that. And then I set it down. And now, that you can end it here, but I'm gonna add a little bit special. I'm gonna add another layer. And I am going to draw some cute little X's on his eyes, because that was a potion that killed him. So now he's dead. He died. So on iMovie, you're going to have the screen recording of all the stuff that you did on that app. You're going to have the screen recording of everything being moved around, and then you're going to have the videos of the different sound effects. I'm going to go and trim them, because I didn't trim them in my camera gallery. You should trim them in your gallery, not trim them on the editing, unless that's what you prefer to do. I'm lazy. So first things first, obviously you don't want this stuff in the background, all this stuff over here. So on iMovie, what you can do is you press the magnifying glass and you zoom in to your work, so that you just get rid of everything that was there. And now you can crop out the parts that you don't actually need. So here now we have a little short 0.8 seconds clip of nothing happening here. And then I don't need this, I just need the part where she's talking, so I'm going to cut this out. And I'm just going to keep in the part where she's moving and talking, and there's that cute little like border, typical like editing app border. So yeah, I have this, and I have her talking, and then a little more, there's definitely happening there. Okay, now here's the part where she goes and hands the potion over. Oh, I took it twice. So here, like that, and perfect. And then go to the next clip, which is when he drinks the potion. I was like trying to figure out if I could get it to rotate, but I realized that it put this ugly little thing in there on the video, so I'm gonna cut this part out. I'm gonna wait till the potion bottle goes back down. So here I'm gonna split it, and I'm gonna delete everything that I didn't want. And yeah, basically like that. So technically I just cut out all the things I didn't want, and now it looks like this. So the next part is obviously to add the sound effects. So on iMovie, what you do is you just detach the audio, very simple. I don't know how it would work on other apps, but probably very similar. So here we have the Blackmagic lyrics. I'm going to detach the audio, and I'm going to move it to the clip where it's needed, which is basically when Leanne is talking, which is this clip right here. So it should match up like this now. Yeah, good enough for me. We have her talking while the lyric is playing. Like, maybe that better. And then we have her going around, giving it to him. And this clip, we need the slurping effect, which is right here. Detach audio. And, oh, it wasn't that perfect. I'm going to trim it a bit more. And then I move it to that clip like this by holding it and dragging it here. And since I feel like this is really, really slow, So what I'm going to do is just speed it up a bit. This one too. Like that. Great. That was perfect. And then he dies. And I thought it would be funny to have this Roblox death sound effect. So basically, I'm just going to detach the audio one more time. And drag it over to when he dies. Like this. Oh, that wasn't that great. Okay, I forgot to mute these clips. Don't forget to mute the clips. Because I had my microphone on when I was recording these. Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing for me. Anyways, and then you have the videos that you detach the audio from. You don't need those anymore. You can delete those. And see, these videos should be silent, but for me they weren't because I had my microphone on while screen recording. Just make sure that your microphone isn't on while screen recording. Otherwise, you have to mute the video. But anyway, once you edit the screen recording of everything going on and you've added the audio, this is your final product.
Take a sip on my secret potion.
Wow, that was so funny. That was peak comedy. But anyway, that's the basic idea of how it works, and you can always make it more complicated. Just then you'll have more layers and things to care about. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So to start off, I add the layers, which is the advertisement in the backdrop. I don't know why they're not one layer, but whatever. And then Blackpink. So I make them a little bit longer because they're not supposed to be just 2 seconds long. And then I add in some audio clips and I move it to the top because, like I said, I like to have them at the top. And then I first add the footsteps sound effect. And then I add some more audio clips of the lyrics that I need to use. I also trim the audio clips down because I'm pretty lazy and I don't do that in my camera roll, so I just end up doing it while editing. And now I go onto the clip with Blackpink and I basically add transition by transition, making them move up and down but slowly to the left as they enter the screen. And I try to fit as many transitions as possible before QCut won't let me. And then I make the clip shorter so that the transitions get more tighter and smoother. And then I also do more transitions again for when they're talking, and I just make them go up and down. And yeah, look, I cut the clip again so that the transitions get tight. And then I basically do this for every audio clip that there is. Every time they talk, every time they walk, yeah. That's pretty much it. Pretty simple, but very repetitive and very time consuming with all those transitions. So here's another example at the Mamamoo video. Basically make them talk by doing that transition thing again. And then the Little Mix talk themselves. Perry goes to get some ice cream. And then, so basically for the ice cream, it was actually a bit difficult because I had to edit every little ice cream cone, which is only 4, but took quite a bit of work. So first I make a custom transition that makes it look like the ice cream appears up. So it starts down below in the beginning and then it goes up like the ice cream just popped out from behind the counter. And then the next custom transition I did was like this rotating one. I don't know why I decided to do that. I just thought it looked cool. But a slide transition would probably be easier. Anyway, here's me doing this rotate transition. Really complicated. I don't know if I should get into it, but it's just me changing the anchor point at different times and making it rotate. Yeah. And then I did this 4 times. I think it would also just be easier to make it slide. Like the first transition is just to start it by Perry and then put it by Mamamoo at the end. And then do that 4 times.